Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're plugging into one of the most fundamental parts of our modern world, our utilities. For pretty much a century, the power grid has been this silent workhorse, just doing its job. But now, it's learning to think. So let's dive in and see how it all works. So let's just start with that big idea. What if the network that brings you electricity, water, and gas could do more than just, well, deliver stuff? What if it could actually anticipate problems, adapt to them on the fly, and even repair itself in real time? And no, this isn't science fiction. This is the revolution that's happening right now, and it's all being powered by artificial intelligence. But, to really get where we're going, we first have to understand where we are. Our current utility setup, it's a marvel of 20th century engineering, for sure. But it was built for a totally different world than the one we live in today. For the most part, our grid is reactive. A storm hits, a power line goes down, and a crew gets sent out to fix it. Simple. But that model is being pushed to its absolute limits. We've got more extreme weather, constantly changing regulations, and just a skyrocketing demand for energy. The old way of just waiting for something to break, it's just not going to cut it anymore. The grid doesn't just need to be repaired, it needs a brain. And that's exactly where this new AI toolkit comes in. See, when we say AI, it's not just one single thing. It's better to think of it as a brand new set of tools that's giving our old grid that brain it needs. And it really all comes down to two main flavors of AI. So on one hand, you have what we'll call classic AI. This is the predictor. It's absolutely incredible. It's sifting through mountains of past data to find hidden patterns, predicting when a piece of equipment might fail or spotting weird activity that could be fraud. Then, on the other hand, you've got generative AI, or the creator. Yeah, this is the tech behind things like ChatGPT. It doesn't just analyze data, it creates brand new stuff. It can write up technical reports, run super smart customer service chats, and basically act as a co-pilot for human engineers. Okay, so you've got these two types of AI, the predictor and the creator. But how do they actually do work out in the real world? Well, the answer is through something called AI agents. Think of them as specialized digital workers. Seriously, imagine a tiny autonomous piece of software whose entire job 24/7 is to check meter readings, or another one that just audits invoices for mistakes. Each agent has one specific job, and they're the real building blocks of this new smart grid. And look, this isn't some far-off concept. This stuff is already being rolled out. AI is actively making our utilities more efficient and more resilient, like today. So let's see what that actually looks like on the ground. The scale of this opportunity is, well, it's staggering. A recent Accenture study found that a whopping 38%, almost 4 out of every 10 hours worked, in a typical utility can either be automated or seriously boosted by AI. And this isn't about replacing people. It's about amplifying what they can do by getting all those repetitive operational tasks off their plate. And you can see this isn't just talk, right? The money is flowing. In Brazil's energy sector alone, the funding for this kind of innovation nearly doubled in just 1 year, jumping to 5.5 billion reals. That's over $1 billion in 2023. This shows that companies are betting big, moving these technologies out of the lab and into the real world. So where's all that cash going? Well, it's going into things we can actually see and feel. AI models are predicting equipment failures before they happen, literally preventing blackouts. Drones with computer vision are flying over hundreds of miles of power lines, doing inspections. AI-powered smart assistants are giving us personalized customer service any time of day. And maybe most importantly, AI is helping detect fraud and guard our critical infrastructure against cyber attack. If you want a really concrete example, just look at Sao Paulo, Brazil. A major energy company there started using a computer vision platform for meter readings and inspections. And get this, it processes over 140,000 images from the field every single day. And the AI is hitting an 88% accuracy rate on its own. The impact? Way faster billing for customers and a much quicker response time for any problems out in the field. And that really brings us to a crucial point from the folks who studied this. This whole transformation, it's about so much more than just doing the old stuff faster. It's a fundamental redefinition of what the human workers do. It frees up the experts to tackle the really complex problems, And it paves the way for what they're starting to call cognitive utilities. So, what on earth is a cognitive utility? Well, it's the end goal. It's the ultimate destination of this whole journey. We're talking about a grid that doesn't just have smart tools plugged into it, but one that develops a kind of intelligence all its own. So let's break down how we actually get there.
It's an evolution, and it happens in pretty logical steps. First, you have those individual, specialized agents just doing their one job, right? Reading a meter, checking a bell. Then, those agents start talking to each other. So the meter reading agent tells the billing agent what to charge. But the final step, that's the real game changer. That's when you have an entire ecosystem of agents that all collaborate, learn from each other, and self-adjust to run the grid, making decisions pretty much on their own.
So, what can a grid like that actually do? Well, it can operate and make decisions in real time. Just imagine a grid that automatically reroutes power during a massive heat wave, preventing a blackout before anyone even knows there's a problem. A system that's constantly checking itself to make sure it's meeting every single safety regulation with no human intervention. It could even become its own intelligence hub, where new AI tools can be deployed on demand from an internal app store for the grid.
Look, make no mistake. This is the path we are on. We are leaving that old, brittle, reactive grid of the past in the rearview mirror, and we are building a proactive, self-healing, and truly resilient system for our future. A thinking grid isn't just a possibility anymore, it's an inevitability.
Which, of course, leaves us with one final and pretty profound question to think about. As we build this incredible autonomous infrastructure, we also have to build the rules. As our grid learns to think for itself, who's responsible for teaching it ethics, for teaching it fairness, for teaching it right from wrong? That is the next great challenge. Thanks for watching The Explainer.